Hello and welcome, I'm Tim and this is SV Paquita. And it's a busy Sunday afternoon. All morning long. Boat after boat after boat just all took off and now they're all coming back in. But, you remember a couple days ago? I guess it was a couple days ago, yesterday, I don't know. Anyway, I had made a short video for Instagram showing this seawall and that we had anchored very close to it and the wind was blowing us back this way. And I had measured it with the radar and I said, as long as the wind's blowing, we're good. But if the wind stops or changes around, starts blowing out of the south instead of the north, it'll blow me up onto the breakwater. That could happen. Anyway, I set my anchor alarm, and usually I do the anchor alarm if I put out, say, 100 feet of chain. I'm going to set an anchor alarm for 250 feet or something like that so that it can go from one side to the other side and everything will be all right. But this time, because I couldn't afford to go, I couldn't afford to double back on the chain is what I'm saying. So I just put a 50-foot mark right around where I was, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, this morning, it started going off and we were still a ways away from the wall, but it was showing me that the wind had changed. We had spun around and we were pointing that way. And so I hung out there for a little while and you could tell that we had moved, but we hadn't pulled into the chain. So what I ended up doing was lifting up the anchor, coming back a little further this way, dropping the anchor and setting it, and then we were all good that way. Well, then the sun came up and now the wind has turned around, and because we had so much boat traffic going out, I didn't really want to get in anyone's way or do anything else, so I just stayed here and everyone went out. And now, boat after boat after boat after boat, I mean, this has been like this ever since like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They're all going back into the marina here, and you see that little red light right there, that little rock there? They all have to go between us and them. And quite frankly, I gotta say, I'm really embarrassed. I shouldn't be here. I should be up there. But nobody seems to care. Everyone seems to be fine with it. Nobody's giving me any nasty words or yelled at me or giving me any funny looks or anything like that. And I'm kind of dug in right here. So I don't know, maybe this is just the way it goes. I'm not sure. But I feel terrible, but I'm going to be leaving before sunup tomorrow. And it's going to make me feel really good that I can sleep like this, because if the wind switches around, I'm already set up to go that way. And if you're looking, yes, Chrysalida did just cut my hair. Anyway, so it's Sunday, and the Irish lads are in Palermo. My buddy Mark will be there tomorrow. So my plan is to get underway first thing and get over there tomorrow afternoon and get all checked in and all that sort of stuff. And that should be fun. So that's what I'm really hoping to do. We made water all day today. We made water yesterday too. Made water today and had showers and did laundry and all kinds of stuff. And so everything's kind of good. It's just been a really mellow day, other than it's funny, they all leave at the same time and they all come back at the same time. Amazing. Look at them. Just boat after boat after boat after boat. And you know what? There's a lot of rental boats. It's kind of funny. I've been texting some of my friends, and I've been saying how so much of everything I was told about coming to the Med has been wrong. One of the things I had heard about coming to the Med was that you have to have some sort of license or proficiency that you can prove. A yacht standard or something like that or whatever. In my case, I still have my license. My license is valid, so I'm thinking I'm probably good with that. Anyway, that's never been asked for. I've had it all ready to go. It's never been an issue. And the reason why I bring this up is that all these boats that are like rental boats that people are going back, spent the Sunday out in the water with their family, they all have a big thing that says, rent this boat, no license required. I'm like, wow, amazing how so much information is wrong. But one of the biggest things, I figured when we get out of the Mediterranean, when we get back to the other side of the pond, I probably am going to try to do a video about some of the things I've learned or some of the things I've been wrong about. And one of the things is that I could have saved a whole bunch of money, because I saw two different people that I would kind of call authorities. I mean, one guy's written like 7 books about this stuff and all this, and they all said how all throughout the Mediterranean you're required to have €1 million of liability. So I think my original policy had like $300,000 worth of liability. For those that aren't from the US, you might call it third-party insurance. We call it liability insurance. Anyway, so when I talked to the broker about this, they quoted me something with $1 million worth of liability insurance. Unfortunately, that's just short of €1 million. So I was like, well, I really need €1 million. And they didn't have €1 million to do it, so they had to give me a $2 million liability policy. And I had to pay about $1,800 extra for that. And no one's asked for that. They all want to see our insurance. And in Portugal and in Spain, I didn't ask in France and I didn't ask in Italy because I'm done asking. But in Portugal and in Spain, I said, what are the requirements? How much insurance do you need? And they both said, when they told me this in the Azores, I thought it was odd. But when they used the exact same verbiage in Spain, I said, maybe they're up to something. But they said, oh no, we require you to have insurance. How much you have is up between you and your insurance company. So anyway, I guess those poor, overworked and underpaid people in marine insurance, you guys can just consider this Tim's stimulus plan. I paid almost $2,000 for something that so far I haven't had to. Nobody's asked to see that I have that much liability insurance. But anyway, yeah, live and learn. So now I know. So any of you that are doing this, you could say, I don't think you need to do that. And I also think too that if you got somewhere and you didn't have €1 million of liability and they required it, you just get on the phone and do a rider right over the phone with your insurance company. You know, they'd have to send something on their letterhead saying that it was all good and all that. But I'm just saying that I think there are things in place to deal with that. So yeah, that's been one that's really kind of bummed out about. That's a lot of money. I hate spending money for insurance anyway, and then to pay that much extra. And this is not on the insurance company, because I asked the broker, I'm like, have you heard about this? And like, we don't know anything about that. We'll get you whatever you want, but we can't tell you what they need over there. And so they weren't trying to sell me this. I tried to buy this, and I did buy it, and I didn't need to. So it was on bad information. So I'm trying to right that by telling you, if you're coming, I don't think you need €1 million of liability insurance. Maybe you do if you have a mega yacht or something like that, but not little old Paquita. Anyway, one of my friends that was supposed to come with me, he's like, I think he's basically self-insured. And I'm like, I don't know, that's going to work out. And quite frankly, I don't think that's going to work out. I think that if you come in, because everybody wants to see, when I bring my paperwork in, they want to see the Coast Guard documentation, they want to see our passports, and they want to see proof of insurance. They don't care what the value is or anything. They just want to know that you have insurance. But anyway, that's it. The sun is just, it's going to be light for a while. Oh, by the way, I got the lights working. So the tricolor light, where I had the anchor light and the tricolor light and all that wasn't working. And when I went to touch it, all the wires kind of like disintegrated in my hand. So through process of elimination, I had to go and figure out which wire went to where, and we got it all working, so I'm all proud of that. Change the filters in the pre-filters, because this water is clean water, but it's got a lot of it's like the green water. It's not. It's got like things living in it. Anyway, we needed water, and I really don't want to get water at the marina because I kind of like our water better, without any chlorine and that sort of stuff in there. So I figured we had time, we weren't doing anything, we make water here, and if it costs me a couple filters, so be it. I've got like 50 filters, so shouldn't be an issue. So I put the filters in and made water all day, and that's been working great. So all excited, but that's all I have for you now, and hopefully I won't go back in time and say, oh my God, thank God I have a $2 million worth of liability insurance. Anyway, you guys take care, be safe. And thank you so much for doing all the YouTube stuff. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It really helps us out. It's free. And if you want to celebrate with us, you're more than welcome to. And I'll be getting with the Irish lads and my old buddy Captain Foley. He's coming tomorrow. We'll be hoisting up to anybody who's clicked on the, look at this beautiful boat right here. Look at this, she's a classic. They got some really cool boats here in the Med. They got some really ugly ones in my opinion too, but that's not exactly my, the kind of boat that I like, but definitely recognize that as a cool boat. But anyway, hit the super thanks if you want to buy a round for us, we'd love to. And look, every once in a while somebody's like, oh, you're too old, you don't need somebody to buy you rounds. Look, I'm not begging or anything. I'm saying if you want to join in the fun, we'd love to have you do that. If it makes you feel good to be a part of it, it makes us feel good to definitely raise one up and thank you for it. So that's all that is. And the same thing goes with all the guys and girls on Patreon. Those guys are awesome. For $2 a month, you can really support the channel and have a little bit more access and that sort of stuff. So I'll put a link in below for that. You guys take care, be safe, and as always, I'll see you on the one.